Guard rather slow out of the stalls. Super Zeus the first to begin in the yellow jacket, the grey Jukebox Jury handy, staying on, and Tranquil Tiger towards the outside of the racecourse. Campanologist in the all blue now getting very handy indeed under Frankie Dettori, with Duncan on his inside. Towards the rear, Philatelist as they cover the first quarter mile. Super Zeus, Jukebox Jury staying on in the maroon jacket, Campanologist, then Duncan towards the inside of Traffic Guard, Tranquil Tiger, and at the rear of the field is Philatelist as they continue down the back straight and racing for the last 6.5 furlongs now. Super Zeus getting across towards the inside, Campanologist nearest the rail, staying on right on terms with Super Zeus, and then out wide in the headgear, Tranquil Tiger. Jukebox Jury is close up with Traffic Guard. Duncan is second last, and lastly, after 2 or 3 legs, is Philatelist. Making this bend, and Super Zeus tanking in front, but held together by Robert Winston at this stage. Staying on, moves up to within 3 parts of a length in second. Third out wide, Tranquil Tiger. Campanologist round the inside, Jukebox Jury, Traffic Guard, Duncan, and finally Philatelist. So down the home straight with just over a half mile left to travel, and Super Zeus almost joined by Staying on the left. On the extreme right is Campanologist, and now they begin to stretch. Tranquil Tiger away to the left, coming with his bid now. Traffic Guard, Jukebox Jury, Duncan, and Philatelist as they head down inside the final 3 furlongs. Campanologist challenging Super Zeus, then Staying on, a little short of room there as Tranquil Tiger also comes towards the outside, and further left is Traffic Guard. On the extreme right, Duncan is beginning to unwind for Jimmy Fortune. Campanologist and Frankie Dettori leads the way down to the final furlong, chased hard by Duncan. Jukebox Jury with a head bowed drive as well in third place, and Staying on strongly from Super Zeus as they race inside the final furlong. Campanologist a nose ahead. Jukebox Jury is thrusting at the leader though on the near side, and he's getting up. Jukebox Jury the winner, his second Campanologist, third Duncan, and Traffic Guard back in fourth.
Jukebox Jury has bounced back. He's won this Group 3 Rose of Lancaster Stakes, sponsored by Tote Pool, for Royston French and Mark Johnson, who's having a good day so far at the office, the trainer. 6-1 he is returned. Second is Campanologist for Frankie Dettori and Saeed bin Saror. Tried to see off Jukebox Jury but just wasn't able in the final few yards. And third was Duncan, a better performance than he managed last time out, that's for certain, for Jimmy Fortune and John Gosden, but perhaps wasn't quite built on the promise of that fourth in the Coronation Cup 2 starts ago. And Traffic Guard has put another second good race together for Paul Cole since his return from Dubai. But the winner is the grey Jukebox Jury, a belated start to his season. Not much shown first time out, better in the Eclipse last time, even better now, and a further compliment, if one needs to be paid, to see the stars.
Yeah, that's the news line. Jukebox Jury, a really good performance, career best in his own right, but cast your mind back to the first Saturday in July at Sandown for the Coral Eclipse, and it's looking like a race for the ages now. We see the stars beat subsequent Sussex Stakes hero Rip Van Winkle, clear of Conduit, who won the King George, and in behind we had Chima de Triomphe. Does he run at Arlington this evening? So he might give it another boost. But this was a worthy performance from Jukebox Jury. He is down in class appreciably in Group 3 company against a couple of horses, Campanologist and Duncan, who had disappointed last time, but you have to think that they've come pretty close to their best. Certainly Campanologist, who looked as if he was primed to return to his best and has had every chance. A reasonable gallop thanks to Super Zeus, who didn't handle the bend that well. It took a good while for Jukebox Jury to hit full stride in the straight, and I suspect he's drifted in the run, but he's produced a really powerful finish. Slightly more patient tactics today on the left from Tranquil Tiger and his connections. Likewise Staying on, who didn't go as hard as he can in front sometimes, but no suggestion that there were any serious hard luck stories. Duncan is beginning to look a little bit flattered by that close fourth, was it, in the Coronation Cup. He's looking a Group 3 listed horse at the moment. Campanologist right back on song. Have a look at Jukebox Jury, pushed along at this point. Royston French begins to get a even more urgent in a minute, and it takes Jukebox Jury a while, but he's very, very strong at the finish. Right of picture going really well, Frankie and Campanologist. He looks back on track. Duncan looked a big danger at one point. He settled better today. He wasn't good enough. In rear, we've got Philatelist without his normal headgear. He was struggling a good way out. Slight check in a moment, centre picture for Staying on. Check between Tranquil Tiger and Super Zeus. But left of picture, frustrating horse, Traffic Guard, centre picture, the grey horse, beginning to get his groove on now, Jukebox Jury. I thought he might be a miss, but in the end, he was a big, big hit.
He was. He stuck his head out and did it in quite taking fashion, actually. I like the way he's battled in the closing stage. I'll take your point about Traffic Guard being a quirky, slightly disappointing horse. He looked like he was coming with a run that would have more effect and more impact than that, but in the end he just hung to his left and then ran on when it was all over.
Yes, that's Newmarket race, the Princess of Wales Stakes, in which Campanologist and Duncan flopped, is looking a tricky race to work out. But it's plain that the 3-year-old, is it Alwari, is very progressive, ran well in the King George Chaparelli, won the Goodwood Cup. Dr. Fremantle won the race. There we have the Newmarket flops, right of picture, but just to their left, the grey head of Jukebox Jury comes charging through. Frustration again, near miss, relatively near miss from Traffic Guard, who's now 1 from 20 odd. Super Seuss, Hughie Morrison says he's taking a while to get fit. Philatelist even allowing for the lack of headgear. A flop, likewise Tranquil Tiger.
Yeah, 2 contrasting runs from the horses that were coming here from injuries. Super Seuss, who'd cracked a coccyx out in Dubai, that was a bit better than he managed last time, and Philatelist, who had a setback in his box, well, he was tailed right off here, unfortunately.
And it's another feather in the cap of the 3-year-old division. Jukebox Jury isn't top of the class, not by any means, but he's in against older horses here for the second time. He was in against good older horses at Sandown, obviously, but here he is, beating pretty good older horses, and with See the Stars, Fame and Glory, Rip Van Winkle, Sariska, Midday, the likes of this fella backing them up, the 3-year-old division is very, very powerful this season.
And final thought, it's not beyond thought that he can progress again from that. That is only his 3rd start. Having come back from a problematic winter, belated start to the season, he could yet progress again.
Exactly. Well, he certainly thrived last autumn. He won the Royal Lodge, the 1 or 2 holes in that form. Then he went on to finish 2nd to Crowded House in the Racing Pulse Trophy. So he was thriving last back end. It's obviously been a little bit problematic this season, but there were signs, hints at Sandown, admittedly beaten 15 lengths, and this is more than a hint. This is a very strong clue that this is a serious group horse nowadays.
And what a race the Eclipse was.
Yes, indeed, and very well done to Tom Seagal price-wise. Jukebox Jury up at 10-1 this morning, returned at 6s, beats Campanologist 9-4 favourite, Duncan 130 in 3rd, 8 ran.